Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received, and the translation reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi. How are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? I have my own story that I want to share with you. My story, it goes on like this. I just want to send a strong warning to all the ladies out there who think that dating a man who is married is something that is good, because at the end of the day, you are going to suffer. As for me, Brother Nashi, there was a woman who thought that she was much more clever than I was. She was told by my husband that I was the one who was the trouble causer in our marriage. So she was not supposed to come in between me and my husband, because I was trying to sort out myself. The problem that happened to me, Brother Nashi, I do not want to lie that I used to mistreat my own husband, but it was because of the way that I got into this marriage. When I got married to my own husband, I was very young. I was only 17 years of age. And the other problem that happened was that, as for my own parents, they didn't give me good guidance. The advice that they gave me with time, I saw that it was bad advice. My parents said, this man that you are going to get married to, know that if he is going to mistreat you, please come back home, because we always have a space for you. It does not matter that you have 1 or 2 kids, just return back home. So with that attitude, Brother Nashi, I thought that I was much more clever than my own husband. Whenever we would have a disagreement, then I would run back to my parents. We then came here to Zim, and me and my husband, we were still suffering. We were still struggling a lot in our relationship, but I loved my husband a lot. I didn't want to let him go. It then happened that on this other day, we had gone out shopping. When we were busy shopping, here in South Africa, there is this other shop that is called Pearl. So he took that big shop. So I didn't like it. So I just took it because I wanted to smell that soap, just to see how different it was from the soap that I was used to, the one that I used to bath myself with all the times. So my husband thought that maybe I wanted to return it back to the shelves. My husband then grabbed it from me. Then we started fighting. We fought so hard in that shop, and I left my husband in that shop and I returned back home. That was when my husband took that opportunity to be with his girlfriend. And this woman, she was staying in that same location that I was staying. So this woman, she then took advantage of our problems. Then my husband started mistreating me really bad. I then returned back to Zim. When I returned back to Zim, then my husband was now staying with that woman. I was in pain, Brother Nashi, because even my husband's sister, she didn't like me at all. She said that I was a bad cook and stuff like that, because on this other particular day, I had cooked some spaghetti for my husband. So I had forgotten to put salt in those spaghetti. So my husband then took some pictures and sent those pictures to his own sister. The sister then called me and she was like insulting me. She was like, it seems as if you do not care for your husband, because if you cared for your husband, how could you prepare such a meal for your husband? This shows that you do not care. So I returned back home. I wanted to give my husband some space, but when I was in Zim, that was when I heard that he was now staying with another woman. Brother Nashi, I then said, since my husband and this woman thought that they are really clever, let me try to go to some traditional healers so that I can get some assistance. I used all the money that I had. I walked, Brother Nashi, from village to village until my legs were swollen. And then I met this other old lady. When I explained my situation to this old lady, she said that she was going to assist me. And indeed, she assisted me. But she said, for me to assist you, you need to return back to your husband. So she then gave me some charms, these charms that I was using and that I am still using for my husband. Whenever I tell something, whenever I speak with my husband will always think that I am right and he is wrong. So it gives you what they call a sweet tongue. Then I returned back to South Africa after I had spoken with my husband, and I told him that I was suffering here in Zim, and I apologized to him. He then said, "It is fine, my wife, you can come, but you have to know that you are now but he said that you have to know that I now have 2 wives. And I said, I don't care as long as I am still married to you. I came here to South Africa, but the second wife was not happy about it because she thought that she was going to have my husband all for herself. But my husband came and picked me up at the bus station after I had been dropped off. Then Brother Nashi, my husband took me to the place where we were staying. When he took me there, then there was this other spirit that I placed on his back. It was the spirit of bad luck. My husband is a contractor. So I said, since you are having a lot of customers, I want all of these customers to run away from you because you think that you are very clever. Now that you are making a lot of money, this is the reason as to why you now want to have 2 wives, and I cannot have it. You are not going to have 2 wives. I am only going to become your only wife. So when he left my place, my husband had this demonic spirit that he was carrying on his back. Then my husband went back to his own wife and they started fighting. They fought a lot. And when my husband returned back, I saw that he was bleeding. And I asked him what exactly had happened. Then my husband told me that they had a big fight, and I was happy. And I knew that finally my husband was going to be mine. And those charms that had been inserted into my body, those charms, they were going to sort out my husband's second wife, because I wanted my husband's second wife to die. Then there was this other day when I had gone to visit my husband's second wife, and when I was returning back, that was when I told that old woman that I had left in Zim, that traditional healer, and I said, can you please do a charm? Can you please perform a charm for me so that this woman can die? I just want her to die. That old lady then said, is there a place there in South Africa where you can buy a needle? But this needle, it does not have to be a normal needle. I want it to be a curved one. I said, let me try to go to these shops, the Indian spazas. So I went there and I could not find one. Then I went to this other place in town called Hawker's Center. And when I got there, that was where I got that curved needle. I bought it, and when I returned back to the place where I was staying, then that old woman said, I want you to get one of your husband's underwear, and when you have taken his underwear, I want you to do some poo inside of it. Then take this curved needle, and I want you to sew this curved needle all around and do not leave any opening on the underwear. And this was what I did, Brother Nashi. I arrived back home and I did some poo in the underwear. Then I started sewing, and then I went and I threw that underwear away. That is how this woman ended up dying. There are so many times that I find myself regretting because of this thing that I did. I do not feel proud, but ladies out there that are dating married men, they need to be very careful to date someone who is married. It is very dangerous because you do not know what that woman is going to do to you. And a lot of ladies I know, they'll end up bewitching you, and it is easy to bewitch someone that is trying to steal your own partner. At least if my husband had divorced me, at least in a nice way, but the way that he did his things, it was such that he wanted to hurt me so much, to humiliate me. Even his own relatives, they wanted to embarrass me. And I said, let me do what I know best. And I visited a traditional healer, and she ended up dying. And after she had died, that was when I started to have some terrible dreams. each and every time when I am dreaming, I actually find myself crossing this other river. When I would have crossed this river, then I'll see babies, Brother Nashi, a lot of babies that will be following me. And I am afraid that these babies that I am seeing, they are demonic babies, and it makes me to be so scared. But I had to do what I had to do so that I can save my own relationship. Dear listeners, right there was a narration of a message that I received. Strange things indeed happen in this world.